You know, man, I gotta say, I like where this is going. WWE 2K22 was a step in the right direction for the WWE 2K franchise. At the end of the day, though, it still wasn't that special. It wasn't too much different than what we'd seen before. They sped up the gameplay to lean more in an arcade style while still remaining very realistic, and even though it wasn't very good, they brought back General Manager mode because of how much fans have been clamoring for it for all these years now, and it made its return to the franchise after 15 years. The My Rise had some really great ideas thrown into it that I felt weren't completely fleshed out last year, and as a whole, I felt the game was pretty mid. It still felt like a lazy, bare-bones 2K game. It just felt like a step in the right direction that 2K was taking after putting out the stinker known as WWE 2K20. They knew that they were on thin ice and they had to put out something a little bit different than they were putting out before to win the audience back. And they did just that. But I'm not gonna lie, I was afraid of how they'd follow it up. When I heard that WWE 2K23 was in development, I face-palmed. I was like, no, they can't go back to what they were doing, man. They can't keep releasing these every year. They have nothing but a track record of showing us if they do that, it's just going to be a reskinned version of the previous year's game. And I'm not gonna lie. All right, let's not bullshit ourselves here, okay? Let's tell the truth. Let's be honest, okay? I was right. I knew that 2K23 was going to be WWE 2K22 Part 2, and it was. The gameplay does feel slightly more polished, but for the most part, it is almost exactly the same thing. Create an Entrance is back this year, and oh my god, it is fucking broken. Like 2K20 level broken. It is horribly designed. It's glitchy, it's non-functional, it's a complete clusterfuck. My Faction is here again, and who fucking cares? It sucks. I'm pretty sure Universe is the same shit. I don't know. I don't play it. What I'm getting at is that this is still very much a 2K game, and it feels like a 2K game. If you look for them, you will definitely find things wrong with this game, and it's not hard to find them. Kind of like the John Cena Showcase mode, I respect what they were going for with the fact that you actually play as his opponents instead of him. It's something different. You know, they're trying to spice up the mode, keep it fresh, but at the end of the day, Showcase is still very robotic. And let's just be real, it's kind of boring. In every single match, it's going to tell you exactly what to do. Like, throw him in the corner, do a heavy combo, do this, do that. I was watching Wrestling Gifts review of WWE 2K23. Shout out Pav, great channel by the way. And he said the exact same thing. He's like, I feel like I'm at work and my boss is telling me what to do when I play Showcase. It's not fun. And I said this last year, and honestly, I'm going to fucking say it again. It's time for Showcase to go. Can we just admit it? We just got to get rid of the Showcase mode. It is not doing 2K any good. It's not a terrible mode. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just a waste of a mode, bro. It's mid. It's just mid. There's no other way to put it. I feel like the appeal of Showcase is more novelty than it is actually good. I think the idea of reliving history through the game sounds like fun, sounds like it's a good idea, but like, I feel like nobody wants to admit this. If I really want to like relive it, I'll just go watch it back, man. Like, I don't need to play through it. I really don't. Just get rid of Showcase, man. I'm not trying to hate on it or anything. I'm just saying it's like you could take that time and effort and put it into GM mode, making GM mode better. And speaking of GM mode, why don't we talk about GM mode a tiny little bit? So, GM mode is definitely better than last year. I can confidently say that. A lot of the match types that were just missing in 2K22 are now here. There's a lot more things that are going to keep it more interesting and keep you playing it for a longer duration of time. I like the fact that it really is just a game mode of making choices. Like, you have to make choices, and those choices are going to have consequences. I like that they added little things like this new trophy system where it gives you new objectives to complete by the end of the year. It basically makes you have to think more about your booking decisions. GM mode is still not where I want it to be. It's still no SmackDown versus Raw General Manager mode, but it's definitely a step up from last year. It is definitely worth playing, and I think it's definitely one of the reasons that WWE 2K23 is a better game than WWE 2K22. Which leads us to the last mode that I have not talked about. And there is a reason that I saved this for last. Ladies and gentlemen, let us talk about WWE 2K23's My Rise mode. I don't know what the hell 2K was smoking, but I need some of it. and I don't even smoke. But WWE 2K23's My Rise is the best career mode we have gotten in a wrestling video game in a really long time. Right off the bat, you get good vibes from this career mode. They throw you right into the action. Without giving away any spoilers, you basically come into WWE and you start off on Raw right away. There's no typical missions where you have to run around the PC and shake hands and introduce yourself to fucking everybody. Then you do some practice matches at the PC, then you go to NXT, you win the title, you get called up, blah, 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 blah. It's not like that. You are an independent wrestler that is immediately going straight to Raw, and you are repackaged as The Lock, an over-the-top goofy shit gimmick where you wear a lock around your neck and you shove guys into a ginormous safe after you beat them. And your My Rise character is fully aware that this gimmick fucking sucks. It's destined for failure, and you actually argue with Shawn Michaels about it. Your character will basically say things like, how the fuck am I supposed to get over with a stupid gimmick like this? Why can't I just be myself? It got me this far. And Shawn Michaels will tell you that that's not the WWE way. They like to put their own spin on things, and your career is all about taking what you have and making the best out of it. And long story short, The Lock doesn't like that answer. You go around basically with an edge, and you are pissed about being The Lock. You don't want to be The Lock, and everybody knows. And the company does believe in you. They have been building The Lock up as the next big thing. But it seems like no matter how many different things they try with you, no matter how many situations they put you in, you still feel anchored because of this gimmick. And because of that, tensions start to rise. The relationship between you and Shawn Michaels starts to get worse and worse. And they do such a great job at building this up because you see where both sides are coming from. Shawn Michaels believes in you. He wants you to be the next big star in WWE. And he believes this is all an ego problem. If you just sucked it up and actually made the best of it, you would be so much further in your career. But at the same time, your guy is right. This gimmick sucks and it has a ceiling. You're not going to get to the top with The Lock. And eventually tensions get so high that it becomes physical and you get fired from WWE. You are now the laughing stock of the industry. The guy who was handpicked and chosen to be the next big thing blew it, and he got released. And now you have to go on a comeback tour traveling the world to prove to WWE that they made a huge mistake firing you. This is where the mode could go very wrong. This could just become a series of indie matches that don't mean anything, and the player is going to get bored. But it doesn't. And without spoiling anything, you meet so many people along the way during this tour that you build a relationship with. Everything that you do in this mode is in service to progress the story forwards. 2K never loses sight of what makes a great story mode a great story mode. It's quite literally the story. Every single match that you have, every single person you meet has a meaning. And as you progress further along in your career, the game will always remind you why you had these matches or why you met these people. They all had a reason behind them. It only expands your universe and makes your story bigger and better. This is the first time a My Career or My Rise in a WWE 2K game felt like what I hoped it was always going to be. It doesn't feel like a fucking bucket list of things you have to complete before you're considered a legend in wrestling. No, you get to meet these legends and build relationships with them. You get to create friends with new wrestlers. Everything is progressed in a story, and you really do get to live out these legendary feeling moments. It really does make you feel like a fucking star. It's not just win this match, collect title, bing, bang, boom, you're a legend. Everything feels linear. Every single title win or loss feels earned. It makes you want to keep coming back to play because you want to find out what happens next. There is a clear beginning, middle, and end in this story, and the best part is you get to choose different ways and different paths to go. I might actually play this again because there are different choices that you can make that potentially will change the story as a whole. They even tell you that at the end. Play it again because there's different routes you can take. This was a fucking career mode, man. 2K, I will give you props. You guys knocked it out of the park with this one. How far we've come since 2K15, man. Oh my god. My Rise was so good that I don't even know how you completed this in a year. Like, I'm dead serious. I have no idea how you did this in the time that you had. It did not feel rushed. It felt like it was a team who cared who made this. Even the little things like the inside if you know jokes, like the Vince McMahon hating sneezing joke.
Make sure you fist bump and or shake everyone's hand every time you see them. Be willing to give up your first-class seat if there are veterans and coach. And never sneeze around the big boss. Never.
Like, whoever was in charge of the shit is clearly a wrestling fan. Whoever the fuck you had as creative director for this, bring them back. 2K, I tip my hat to you. I cannot believe how much fun I had playing My Rise this year. I'm gonna be honest, I think WWE 2K23 is worth buying just for the My Rise alone. It's really that good. GM mode is in a playable state, and honestly, for a sim style, the gameplay is just really good. It's pretty much as good as it's gonna get, I think. I'm just so glad that we've reached a point in the WWE 2K franchise where I don't hate it. I don't despise the shit out of it. I don't loathe it anymore. It's just in a playable state now. It feels like we're just headed in the right direction. You know what I mean? It feels like the how 2K killed WWE games era is finally coming to an end. Am I in love with these games? No. Do I really, really like them? No. I tolerate them. I think they're good, especially WWE 2K23, and I really do mean that. I do think that WWE 2K23 is a good game. It is worth your money if you ask me, and I definitely think there's fun to be had within it. But is it a perfect game? No. There's definitely things wrong with it, and it's not hard to find those wrong things. Like, dude, when are they gonna fix the online servers? Oh my god. It's 2023 and they're still potatoes. But even with its flaws, I really do think this was another step in the right direction. In fact, I'm gonna go as far to say I think this was a mile in the right direction. 2K took everything that worked about WWE 2K22 and improved upon it in 2K23. I still wish they would take more than 1 year to make these games, man. Imagine how good they could be if they actually did take the time, man. But regardless, we got a good game this year. If you ask me, WWE 2K23 is a W. Bro, and we're not even done this year. We still got AEW Fight Forever coming out, and we already know that game's gonna be a W. Even with all the setbacks it has, you already know that game's gonna slap. Harder than Will Smith at the Oscars, bro. We eating good this year when it comes to wrestling games, man. Holy shit. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys are enjoying WWE 2K23 like I am. This has been your boy, Johnny fucking Moxley, and I am out.